Buddy, good morning. Good morning. My name is Lisa Dublin. I'm a health and life coach, and I help people to live, speak, and lead with confidence because confidence just absolutely makes a difference in your life. And that's what we are about. So, wherever you watch me, welcome. Can I just invite you to say something positive and confident to kind of empower you to start the day? I love to begin my day with the following. Some of you already know it. I am blessed and highly favored, above only and not beneath, the head and not the tail. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I shall lend and not borrow, and I have nothing missing and nothing broken. How does that sound for you? Does that make you feel confident? Do you even believe half of it? Sometimes believing half is better than not believing at all. So let's see what happens. I'm supposed to be going live on Instagram. It doesn't look like it's popping up, but that's okay. We'll figure it out later. I want to tell you a couple things. The newest episode of my podcast is out today. Oh my goodness, you guys. Numbers are going up, as in the number of downloads are going up. And so I'm really happy for it. I was thinking to myself, like I think I found a thing that I really, really love to do, which is podcasting, to the point where, like a lot of people in my circle now are now like, okay, I think I like podcasting. I want to do it. So I'm actually getting ready to teach a couple of people how to go about it. So it's just exciting work. And the bigger thought that I had, even before we get into our topic of intense friendships, the bigger topic that I had was, you know what? I really hope you find your thing in life. I hope for you, whoever you are listening to me, that life will yield itself to the point where you find a thing that ignites your passion, that is your calling, that sings to you, that is not hard for you to do, but that blesses people, that you can make an impact while making an income. That's going to be the latter part of my year, to tell you the truth. I'll tell you more about that later. But it's just so important that the work that you do is meaningful, qualitative, is able to sustain you and to bless the world. I mean, that is a winning combination right there, isn't it? Today on the podcast, I'm talking about intense friendships. And as I am journeying into podcasting, I realize you can't put everything into just the number of minutes that you've allotted for your podcast. And so I thought I would bring it to the table today in terms of, you know what? Um, this topic of friendship is very interesting. And so I want to ask you the question today: what kind of friend are you? Let me just make sure everything's going as planned. Hi, Dahlia. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Dahlia. Hi, everybody. Let's talk a little bit, okay? I'm going to do one thing. Give me 1 second, and we're going to talk about friendships. Here's the question for you: what kind of friend are you? I've actually detailed a number of kinds of friendship in the podcast, and I wanted to go in a bit further today in our live stream. Okay. So I feel like along my journey of friendship, I've recognized that there are sentinels in your life, people who are there to kind of watch out for you and who you watch out for. So you are a sentinel in their life and they are sentinels in your life. Do you have those kinds of friends? What about the friendly rivals, people who might be professionally in your circles and you guys admire each other, but there's also that sense of competition that in a sense can be healthy because it makes you rise to every occasion. I think when it crosses over into jealousy and envy, that's when you need to the left, exit. Right? But there is that sense that iron can sharpen iron and make you better. Then there are what I've discovered. They're soul friends, right? I want to talk about that because it's very controversial. There is an example of it in the Bible, although now I hear different things, right? When you look at Jonathan and David, the Bible says that their souls were knit. And I have no problem understanding that. People are like, oh, they're gay. I don't see that. I simply see two people whose souls were knit. It's in the Bible that your soul can be so take to somebody that you guys are just in sync. Has that ever happened to you? So we want to talk about all of these things today. I just want to just go. Okay, just want to see all the comments from the To All the Girls Success Club. So, you guys, before we go into that, you know how this is the month of love. Valentine's was yesterday. I hope you enjoyed your Valentine's Day. Some of my friends were like, "We don't even take on Valentine's. We're new to the game of marriage, whatever." But it's not that we don't consider it something important. It's just that way more important than the Valentine's is the love journey all throughout the year, the month, etc. So I've got friends like that. I think I'm kind of in between. I love to commemorate those things, but at the same time, what sometimes I think to myself, people put a lot of pressure or a lot of emphasis on just these externals, and many times there's nothing behind it. Many times it's usually making up for bad behavior and abuse during the month or during the year. Like, no, we don't want that either. But let's talk about friendships. What kind of friend are you? That's the first question. Are you the kind of friend who needs to check in with your peeps every day? Are you the kind of friend who has to send a good morning meme every day? Oh gosh, y'all, I hate that so much. My friends don't do that, and I don't do that to them because I don't know, it's just cloying. It's just too much. What do you guys think? For me, it's too much. Like, I don't need that kind of care. Right? I'm just too much into myself, which is why sometimes somebody was saying to me this week, you say that you're introverted, but you're so bubbly and everything. But the point of being an introvert is somebody who gets their energy from being quiet. And that's when you really see the introversion or extroversion, because these kinds of things drive me up a wall. Like, I don't need to be in your face every day, and I sure don't need you to be in my face every day. Are you like that? Like, what kind of friend are you? Are you the check-in every day friend, or are you the friend like no matter whenever we pick up, we just pick up from wherever and we just continue? I think I'm the latter, and a lot of my friends are like that as well. So I don't get on well with people who get offended very easily, that need to be cuddled and to be massaged. No. I don't know about you, but that's not me, right? So I'm that kind of friend. And when I look at friendships over the years, I think I've grown to be a better friend. And because of that, I have received better friendships as well. I think at this point, are you still looking for good friends, or are you already like, okay, you know what? Hey, Melissa. Hi, Jenny. Good morning to you all. Or are you like, I've got my friends. I know who I am, right? Liz says, good morning, my love. Love is lovely. I celebrate real love. We need the energy of Valentine's every day. I quite agree. Not that we're going to, in any sense, like not take it on, but we need that sense of love, right? And so in the podcast, I hope you go check out the podcast. I have something to show you about how to leave a review this morning. So bear with me, stay with me. Let's chat a little bit. Let's spend the morning together. Okay, just a little bit of it. Okay. So I realized over the years, as I've gotten to be a better friend, I've attracted better friends. And that makes sense. And in the podcast, I was talking about the fact that we also need to pray for our friends. Do you guys do that? I was in a purpose planning session, a public one, like it was online for everybody, with my mentor from afar, Tiffany Montgomery. I always talk about her because she's just real. She's a little, she's just real, a little on the, rude side, but very real and authentic, and just gives good value when she does come on live. And she did a purpose planning session. If you go subscribe to the podcast, Basement Chronicles, it's on YouTube. It's also on Apple and Spotify. It's called Basement Chronicles. Then the links to everything I'm talking about, they are in the show notes. You just have to scroll down and I'll show you how in a while. And she was saying, like, when she was doing her goals for the year 2024, she literally put in goals for her friends. It wasn't like an overbearing, I'm going to take over your life, but it was just that sense of, I care about you. I've thought about what you need in life and the part that I can play in getting you there. And I said to myself, I never thought about it that way, to kind of pray for my friends in that sense, and to make goals for them according to what you know their needs might be, that you can help to provide in some which what in whatever way. And I just found it was a lovely thing to do, a lovely space to be in, to be able to, just endear people to you in prayer. Number one, like, you guys know you can't pray for somebody and hate them. I feel like God got us there when He said, pray for your enemies. I feel like God kind of set us up, because when you pray for your enemies, guess what? It's very difficult to hate them after you get off your knees and pray about them. Do you guys find that? No, I feel like God set us up in a good way. So make sure you pray for your enemies, because they're going to need it, and it just makes your life better. Okay. So that's one thing, that in terms of friendships, the kind of friend you are, you can be a friend at a deeper level of just putting yourself in somebody's shoes. And what do you need right now? Hey, how are you doing? And it keeps you from just being the person who takes from your friends, as opposed to, like, you are, it's supposed to be a reciprocal relationship. So let's look at a couple. Do you have soul sisters? Do you have people who just seem to know what's going on with you, and you don't even have to be in contact with them? Somehow spirits connect. Somehow you know what they're going through. You kind of feel it. I've had those kinds of friendships, you guys. And it can be very eerie, and there were times when I didn't even know how to handle it, except when I realized, yeah, God was connecting people. God does those kinds of things. There's a chapter in the book, Acts of Faith, by Ian Levanzant, and I read that book years ago. My friends and I, we were all going through heartbreak. Okay. University days were not easy. We were all going through heartbreak, and we all got acts of faith. And we were like, yeah, yeah, that is so true. There was this one day in the book, it's a devotional, and she says, people come into your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. My goodness, that was so deep at the time. And it still is. It still makes sense. Gemma says, I have two friends for over 3 decades from infant school, and we pray and we are there for each other. You see what I mean? Like, so people, we do have those kinds of friendships, right? But then I feel like the soul friendships are deeper. And I have to admit that they're also a lot more intense. So I tend to take them in doses. Now, I can't handle you right now. You are too intense. And I imagine a lot of my friends feel that way with me, because yeah, I could bring it on. Okay. But do you have friends like that? Like, it's a soul thing. And you know what? Like, I know, especially if you were in the Christian world, we tend to shy away from the word soul tie. But here's what I've discovered: there are positive and negative soul ties. Not all soul ties are bad. There are these soul ties that they tell you to break, especially with, like sex before marriage it does create soul ties. It's difficult to tear yourself away. Like when you sleep with somebody, it's like, no, your souls are fused, right? And so the more people you sleep with, the more of your soul you lose and fuse with other people. All of that goes without saying, but there are positive soul ties. And these are the people who there's no that you just seem to fall into each other. You just seem to know what's going on with each other. You just seem to be in sync with each other. And it's not romantic or anything. It really just is that I think that spirits align. I don't think that's a bad thing. When you look in the Bible at Jonathan and David, like, what do we think is going on there? I don't think they were gay. I think their souls were just knit. The Bible does say that their souls were knit. And I feel like that is the definition of a soul tie, that your souls are knit. The thing is, souls can be knit for your detriment, and souls can be knit. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Claudine. Oh my goodness. I saw a photo of you recently. Yeah, you brought it on, my girl. Let me put up these comments as well. Sorry about that, you guys. There are the comments right there. I feel like we have those soul friends, those soul sisters, soul brothers, and we need to be able to watch out for them and know how to handle them. I find too that, what about the friends who are friendly rivals? How do you guys handle those friends? I haven't always been a confident friend. The more confident I've gotten in myself, the better friend I've become. I'm no longer like super sensitive. Like, if I see any sort of hesitation around me, oh my gosh, this person doesn't like me. This person is jealous of me. I need to get away. No, I've discovered, and I saw this from literally watching my son. I literally saw my son on the basketball court, and he was going to toe to toe with a friend who was also playing against him. They were in friendly competition. And I saw how they were literally adding and making each other better. And it made me go back to my own friendships that can be, some friendships can be a bit tense sometimes because this person's a light, you're a light. And it's like, okay, who's going to back down? It's not even a matter of that. It's a matter of like, how can I learn from you? In a sense, how can I just simply bask in your light, enjoy you, and also learn from you to add to my own self? And for a minute there, I had to get accustomed to being in those kinds of relationships, of attracting people who were as talented, as gifted, as prolific, wanted to learn. You could see they wanted to learn, but I also had things to learn from them. How do you handle those relationships? It's a wonderful space to be, because it means, number one, there's a kind of like, you need to give kudos to yourself that you could attract those kinds of people, right? That means you like them, you're on their level, they see themselves on your level. Secondly, it is to know that I am able, even though I think I'm all that, I am able to learn from them. What can I learn? Can I go with a hungry and humble kind of attitude to learn from such people and be friends with them, not to kind of dumb them down? Because sometimes, like in my poem, To All the Girls, I was talking about people who only come near you when things are going wrong. The only time they can handle you is when you're down and out. Do you guys have friends like that? They cannot handle you when you're strong. I feel like there's something wrong there. Don't you think so? So you have to not try to dumb down those strong people. Celebrate them. They're not perfect. Celebrate them and live your own life, not bouncing off of them, but alongside and doing your own thing. So I feel like these are the friendly rivals. They can be very good friends. Of course, everybody guards their turf, guards themselves. But I mean, out of pure admiration for somebody else's talent, you reach out and you stay in relationship because it can be mutually beneficial. Okay, that's another kind of friend. Where are we? At 17, at 18 minutes right now? Okay. The other kind of friend, okay? I want to talk about the ones to stay away from. Which friends do you stay away from? Do you have friends that you just have made a decision? You're my friend from afar. We'll call these people friends from afar. Do you have friends from afar, you guys? And who are they? Are they the negative ones? Right? Like, for sure, if I see um friends who are definitely envious, envy is a dangerous thing. And you see, envy is not just I want what you have. Envy is, who are you to have this? I need to take you down. I have learned to stay away from such. You don't need those people. Make room in your life. Make room for the right person to come in. Hey, Danny, how are you? Danny says yes. Okay, I imagine it's something I perhaps just said, right? Make room in your life for the right people to come in, as opposed to keeping the jealous ones around and, trying to navigate life with them. No, I don't need that. Exit. And there are ways to do it graciously, to not be in those people's purview or in there. And most times they come to simply see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and to go back and kind of try to take you apart. So that for me, the line, even if I talk about friendly rivals, with friendly rivals, there's admiration, there's positive admiration, right? Those are in a right. Exactly. There's also those people, those who are in a position to help you, but they don't take you seriously. They actually don't want to see you grow. And sometimes they would purposely lead you away from the best and suggest things that are less, right? Friendship really is a mixed bag, isn't it? So we really have to be discerning of who's around us and what we want to do and how we want to live our lives, the kind of nurturing relationships we want to cultivate, right? Here's another kind of relationship I was thinking about. And this one, it's more like sometimes it's more like mentoring. Sometimes it goes into friendship. As I've gotten older, there are younger people coming into my circle. And I've realized that I have to be careful to respect them and their ways. There's stuff that I can learn from them and they can learn from me. But having been in this situation where I was the person learning a lot with older women, I've realized sometimes the older women don't even take on what you want to say, like as if you don't matter, your opinions don't matter, like you don't know, and you coming tabula rasa, like with this blank slate to just be poured into. And I've been very careful when younger people, come around and we're nurturing friendships, to let them grow and to not be that overbearing light and that overbearing presence in their lives. Let them stand on their own 2 feet, take what they need, go back, etc., and to also respect them enough to look at them as full human beings who also have things to offer me. Does that make sense? Because many times older women tend to want to take a younger person under their wing, and the way they do it is so I don't know, almost it's so matriarchal that no, you're the child. You don't know anything, just have to learn. Then I would resent that. I've stayed away from these relationships because I'm like, no. Okay, my days of being a kid are over. I am not going to put myself under you, like, and I don't want to do that to anybody else. So I thought about it. It's very unusual. I didn't mention it in the podcast, as I said, because I want to like leave the Thursday session to really discuss and to go further into topics discussed. So you guys, I want you to go, please go subscribe to the podcast. And so on that note, I want to show you something, okay? And let me just share my screen a little bit. You'll see a little bit of my business, but don't worry, I've already figured it out. Don't you worry, we will figure it out. I just want to show you the window. No, okay, there we go. Okay, so I want to show you hold on, let me cancel this. I want to show you how to leave a review. If you're on Apple, if you have Apple Podcasts, and everybody really should have Apple Podcasts, right? You can go subscribe to Apple Podcasts. If you subscribe to Apple Podcasts, then you are able to see my podcast there. Okay, it's uploaded there. So let me share my screen with you a little bit and show you how to leave a review. Can everybody see? So just watch it and just take a little note. So somebody said to me, you always talk about leaving a review, but I don't know how to do it. So the podcast comes out on a Thursday. Yeah, every Thursday so far. I'm so proud of this. Like, you guys don't know what it means to be consistent in that area, right? And in episode number 12, I spoke about how it became easy to be able to produce the podcast because I went out and I got help and I sank in the time, all the things that I talk about. I discovered what was difficult about it and I solved for those difficult areas. And now I'm unstuck in that area, able to produce a podcast every week. So here we go. So if you have Apple Podcasts, everybody, the little teaching moment. Let me go back to my teaching days. So this is my podcast. And the way that you leave a review, let's say you're on your screen or you're on your phone, you click on the podcast, you click on the picture right there. When you scroll all the way down, right? All the way down to the end of the podcast list, you see this right here. I wish I could blow it up a little. It says ratings and reviews. So it says click to rate. When you click on write a review, this comes up. And that's where you can leave a review. Make sure you give it 5 stars, okay? Help me out here. Leave a review because when you leave a review, they rank it higher up in the personal development and education category. And, us can be happy for what we've done. because I'm really looking to the future and making this something that everybody comes along with to be part of by contributing suggestions, comments, support, that kind of thing. Okay, so that is how. Let me just do it one more time. So I'm saying, let me just go back. Right, let's say you have a couple podcasts on your list, like I do. These are on my podcast, right? Then you go to this one, Basement Chronicles, the podcast. You scroll all the way down to the end of the list of podcasts, and then you see ratings and review. You click on this clickable or hyperlink right here called write a review. When you do that, it opens up and you can write. I find that is so clunky for Apple. You mean to tell me this is how people can write a review? But anyway, that's the people's thing. So that's how you can write a review. Okay. So thank you for just, going to listen, subscribe to the podcast. And then once you do that, every time I publish, the notifications will come and you can just go listen. Right. So I really want to, the thing is, why I'm watching this, because it's really a big experiment of when you love doing something, what happens. I'm telling you, like, I hope for every single person here listening today that you find your thing, that you find a calling. A calling. I've written the book and editing now. I'm gonna publish it later this year. Calling is about your big why coupled with your gifts and talents and skills. Know what I said? I've said it here before. I've done presentations and I'll do more as the year goes by, God willing. But hear what I'm saying. When you find your why, the reason that you exist, and mine is to help people win because I know the sting of failure. That's my why. Like, why should you not win? When you couple that why, whatever it is, it might be to make people smile, it might be to paint the world, it might be to help your tribe or help your people to know that they are special. Whatever your why is, when you couple that with the method, your gifts and talents and skills, when you put the two things together, you get a calling. A calling is not work. A calling, you have to be able to monetize it, okay? And you have to be able to make an impact while making an income. But that is talking about the result. The why and the how is find the calling, find the thing that fires you up, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Like, this is exactly what's happening with me by the grace of God. And I know when I start to explain the process and bring the book out, talk about how we got here, that it's going to illuminate a lot of things for other people in their own lives, help them to win. So part of winning is having friends. Let me tie it back. Part of winning is having good friends. So as much as possible, hey Caroline, yes, it's been a while. You found out the hard way with a jealous one. You hit the nail on the head. Yes, Danny. Yeah. I feel like there's a gift in the spirit called, one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit is discerning of spirits. And I feel like we need to pray and ask for that. Lord, tell me what they're about. Like, who are these people? What's that person coming for? Like, what's if you speak to somebody's spirit, you don't even speak to them. You don't even speak to them. Like, you literally see them you see them for who they are. You see the three-dimensional person, not behind the smile. You see exactly what it is. It's possible to live that kind of life. It really is. And then because you know where they're coming from, you know how to act. You don't give everybody everything. You dwell with people according to knowledge. I always say that. Give people as much as they can handle, not one piece more, because they're gonna overflow and throw it back in your face because they cannot handle it. See what I mean? They can't handle it. So I hope this helps this morning. One more thing, you guys. Let me just put this up in the chat, okay? I have 2 free ebooks out. And believe, like, yes, I was so surprised the first day I put out these. You go on my website and you can see them. or they're on my page. I'll put them out again. So there's a free ebook for all the single ladies, and I just culled advice from all my married friends. So this is not just for single ladies. This is for single ladies who want to find love. Okay, not every single person is interested in that, and that's fine. But if you are that person who's like, okay, maybe I want to learn from and hear from people who have been married a long time, go get that resource. I was so surprised yesterday. I got as many, I have two resources. That one is for the single women, and the other one is for married women. So I have the other one called Our Best Year Yet. What's it called? 10 tips to rekindle your marriage this year. So the two resources are available free of charge. They're two ebooks. Go download them and just take your time with them, okay? Because it's lovely information. I spent a lot of time on it. Troubled my friends a whole lot to get that information, but I did. And here's the thing: as many people subscribe to the single ladies one as the married people's one. That's what's happening. And I'm so like just watching the numbers like, okay. So we seem to be evenly split, at least my my audiences, which makes a lot of sense because I'm, primarily speaking to women. As many single women are subscribing as married women. And that's just amazing to me. I'm not sure what I thought, but now I know what to think because the numbers don't lie. So Rafia says, good morning. All right, folks, my time is up. And probably see you tomorrow because I really want to push this, talk to you a little bit more, get some information, give more information, that kind of thing. So please go get subscribe to the podcast and get the free download, whatever the situation, whether you're married or single. I think there's something for everybody in there. That's how I planned it, and I'm hoping that that works. So let me know what you think. Like, talk back to me, send me an email, DM me after you listen to the live or you listen to the podcast. I really want to hear from you because then what I will produce in the future will be more relevant to where everybody is, and that's the whole point. All right, bye. Have a great day.